Well, hello there. It's Tuesday. It's just after 1:30, so it's time for On Stage with Keith Milward. And I've got some very, very special guests today from Centrestage Cymru's production of Jesus Christ Superstar. Sharon Higgins and Seren Howells are going to be joining me very, very shortly. Drum roll, because I've got the director and one of the players here from Centrestage Cymru's production of Jesus Christ Superstar, and it's running at the Dolman Theatre between the 20th and the 23rd of October. I'm so excited because I want to welcome director Sharon Higgins and player Seren Howells, who's such a beautiful dancer as well. But welcome, Sharon.
Thank you.
So how's it all going?
It's going well. It's really well. We had a full run last night and it was brilliant. The cast have all come together. They're getting to know the run of the show. So we've got two more runs now, and then we're getting. So it's going really well.
Getting into the theatre after two more rehearsals. My gosh,
Scary.
But you keep coming back to Jesus Christ Superstar. I say that because we know each other from pantomime. Because
That's right.
I used to be often playing the dame in Stan Stennett's pantomimes, and when we came to Newport, well, we used to look forward to seeing all the troupes of dancers, but in some way we felt as if we were coming home when we came to the Dolman Theatre. And your dancers, as other dancers, but you were always so well dressed, so well drilled, and so that's how we got to know each other. And then I saw the very first show I saw of yours. I thought, well, again, they're all well dressed, they're all well drilled with Jesus Christ Superstar, which is about 11 years ago.
That's
now.
right, yeah.
But you've come back to it, so
Yes, it was about 11 years ago. And we decided to come back to this one. It's just such a phenomenal show. The music in it, the genres of music change all the time, so there's different feels, and it gives the whole cast, not just the principals, the whole cast to develop characters. I mean, one minute they're selling wares in the temple, the next minute they're a leper, and then they're a dancer for Superstar. So it crosses all boundaries. It's just a fabulous show to do.
So, Seren, how do you feel about this now? Because you're going to be changing all the time, and then on stage. Now, how do you feel about this?
I really enjoy it because it gives me a chance to come and develop different characters and stories throughout the whole thing. And 1 minute you're on stage as a disciple, and then you go off, and then it's quick change of mindset, and you're coming on as a seller in the temple, and it's just fun to come and develop different characters and stuff throughout.
You've got to be very well organised, don't you? Because, you've got your a costume coming up. You're in one costume, you go off, and there's no chance of saying, oh, where's my headdress for this? Where you've got to be on the ball, haven't you?
Yeah.
Is that the same as other shows that you've been in?
It depends, because there's always different types of shows that you do, well, we didn't get to do Saturday Night Fever, but rehearsing it, we just had one costume for that show, and it was sort of one character, but does follow different stories throughout. But then you come to shows like this, and it's not too bad because we've got one costume for the majority of it, but you do have those quick changes, and it's just finding a time to make sure that you're relaxed off stage and not stressing about what's coming next. And
That's right. It's almost as much you've got to be organised and know what you're doing off stage as much as you are on stage, really.
That's right.
And just to fill in the gaps, you were saying about Saturday Night Fever, and like many other groups, you were almost ready with that, and then along came the lockdowns, etc.
Right.
That must have been absolutely devastating.
It was heartbreaking. We were 4 weeks before we were going to hit the stage, so the show was ready,
Yes.
Costumes were organised, set, everything. And I can remember the last rehearsal with everybody just before we had to go into lockdown on the Monday night, deciding were we going to carry on, and then that option was basically taken away from us on the Thursday. That's when theatres were closed, everything. But we kept going all the way through the lockdowns. We've done concerts, live stream, Facebook concerts, just to keep our audience involved and the members and cast and everybody, to keep them going. Zoom quizzes, everything, you name it, we've done it.
And of course, rehearsals have been quite different for this.
Yes,
Mask wearing, thought, getting it all together despite the rules and COVID regulations.
For myself, because I'm obviously sort of in charge, although we've got a committee, I'm sort of the one that decides a lot of things we do. It's been stressful. Apart from this blocking of the show, is the actual making sure everyone's safe. And that, to me, was the priority of this show. So basically, as you've seen yourself, and Seren will say, we've got this hand sanitizer everywhere. People wear masks when they're not performing. When we first started, we had to be socially distanced as well, even more so than we are now. So when we first started, we were singing. We had to be 3 meters forward facing, wearing masks. So we've had, like a lot of other people, we've had to deal with that. But it was the only way we could keep going. If we didn't do all that, we would, what do we do? And so as we've got to the point now where we don't have to wear masks as such, but we do still wear them on the side stage if we're not performing, just again is that extra little sort of risk assessment to keep people as safe as possible.
Yes.
And it's just wonderful to know we're going on stage in 2 weeks' time.
Well, yes, it is 2 weeks' time.
Yeah.
And I can vouch for all that you're saying because, of course, I'm there in the rehearsal room. And, I've the mask wearing, etc., etc. But I was telling listeners earlier that it must have been that we were thinking, now, who's off the wall, who's bonkers, who we got to we know, who plays Herod? And, of course, my name just pops up,
Just popped to mind, Keith.
But it's great to be part of it. And I never thought I'd say, Seren, that I would have something in common with Alice Cooper. And, of course, but I have, and I'm quite proud of the fact that Alice Cooper was played Herod in the NBC production. It's American television when he was starring opposite John Legend and Sarah Bareilles of Waitress film. I wonder if I'll have any applause after my rendition. I don't know. But that was indeed Alice Cooper playing Herod. And I've got the honour of playing Herod in the Centrestage Cymru production of Jesus Christ Superstar now at the Dolman Theatre between the 20th and 23rd of October. Now, how can we get tickets? How can we get tickets for that?
You can get tickets through cast members, or you can go onto the Dolman Theatre website, www.dolmantheatre.co.uk.
Brilliant. So now, when I go searching, I put the name in
Dolman
yes, Dolman Theatre. You're bound to find it there. But let's know other cast members now, because I know some of the first names, but Sharon, you'd know the full names of these great people. Yes.
Well, we've got obviously the gentleman playing Jesus. That's Luke Palfrey. And I've got to be honest, he's fabulous.
It's outstanding. How he gets those vocals, I don't know. It seems to come from...
It's just so easy, isn't it?
Yeah.
When there's no effort there.
Yeah,
it's absolutely fabulous.
These amazingly high notes when you think about Gethsemane.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Wow. Absolutely beautiful. And then, of course, we've got the fabulous Andre Paul Spring playing Judas. And it was Andre who played it when I originally produced it. And again, he's just amazing on stage.
He's got a stillness about him.
Yeah.
And yet his vocals, again, incredible. He's got a very something extremely special. That's something extra, and you can never quantify it. There's something with Andre, isn't there?
That's it, yeah. He's just got that, like you say, that little extra something on stage, whatever it is, he's got it.
Yes.
And then, of course, we've got Bethan Daniels, who's playing the part of Mary Magdalene.
Oh, yes.
And, of course, Bethan's been with me since a little one dancing, and she went off to college and come back, and she's teaching as well in the school, so it's lovely to see...
Well, I must say, she
part.
moved me last night, singing the I Don't Know How to Love Him. And there's other moments of the show where she, again, with that stillness and sort of a quietness about her. And yes, you do hear her well, but there's something about still and quietness within performance, which isn't easy. People think, oh yes, if you've got to be quieter or whatever, with me it naturally comes to being more exuberant, I suppose, but so I respect people when they are quieter, and giving such a special performance again.
That's right, yes, yeah. And then we've got Chris Davis. He's playing the part of Pilot, and again he commands the stage when he's on, and I just love the way he does the 39 lashes. Is phenomenal. But yeah, we've got a fabulous cast. I mean, like we've got Charlie Turner. He's playing Caiaphas. Michelle Mayano playing Annis. And who I've missed out, Seren? We've got Jordan.
Jordan Archer playing Simon, and Kevin Dyer playing Peter.
Oh, thank you. Well, we'll hear more about the creatives, and we're wanting to hear more about Seren's journey, and with all her dancing expertise and your experience. So we'll have a song now, which is going to be taking us up to the 2:00 news. But please stay around, Sharon and Seren, now after the news, and we'll hear about the creatives and be reminded of how to get tickets and what the dates are. So don't go away, please.
Radio Cardiff 98.7 FM, the sound of the capital.
We are with Sharon Higgins, who is director of Jesus Christ Superstar, Centrestage Cymru. It's at the Dolman Theatre between the 20th and 23rd of October. And of course, we've got Seren Howells here as well. And I hear you've been with Sharon since you were a little girl dancing. So please tell us more.
Yeah. So I started dancing with Sharon at the age of 6, and I've absolutely loved my time with Sharon. She's such an amazing teacher and so inspirational to me as well, because the amount of stuff that I've seen her go through over the years, and like all the problems that we've had to face, the way that we've always overcome it, and the way how everyone, especially in like your dancing group, they become like your family. And I would definitely say Sharon is feels like family.
What shows stand out for you over the years? What come to mind as I say it now?
I think one of the shows that come to mind was the first one that I ever did, musical-wise, was Godspell.
Oh, yes.
And then also Honk Junior, which was the first production that the musical theatre group did as well. And then probably more recently, probably Dr. Dolittle Jr.
Oh, yes.
That was my last show with Sharon before I left to go off to do college. So,
and which college? What are you learning in college, etc.?
So I've just finished a 2-year BTEC course in musical theatre at the Big Act in Bristol.
Well done, you.
Yeah. And then I'm now doing a 2-year musical theatre course in Cardiff.
Oh, congratulations. So who are you with in Cardiff?
I'm with University of Wales Trinity St David's.
Of course, yes. Oh, my gosh. Good big congratulations, all this, And Sharon, as you look at Seren, of course, you see her as a lovely young lady she is now, but you remember her as that, as the child. They grow up too quickly, don't they?
Too quick. They make me feel old.
Last time I saw Seren was when you were dancing, when you were a solo dancer for a production of Anne Frank. And your dancing really added a special atmosphere to that production, But talking about special moments now then, when we're talking to Sharon, what are the special moments that you're enjoying within this production now of Jesus Christ Superstar?
I think one of the special moments, even though it's not particularly a pretty moment to watch, is things like the crown of thorns being placed on Jesus. It's a very emotional...
It's harrowing as well,
it's harrowing.
Yes.
And obviously you've got the crucifixion, which you have to do carefully and do it right.
You have to pay reverence to these moments, and... do you feel that it is for everyone, Jesus Christ Superstar, or is it, somebody asked me, do you have to know the story and be a Christian to enjoy it,
I mean, a lot of people will obviously know the story because they might have been taught it in school or they've watched other films and things like that. But it is a musical. And the story is told from beginning to end. So you wouldn't have to know the show to understand what's going on because it's so clearly put across in the songs that are written.
They're written carefully, haven't they?
Yes.
I'm talking about Tim Rice, of course, as the lyricist, and Andrew Lloyd Webber as the who wrote the music then, and it's loosely based on the Gospels account of the last week of Jesus' life. So you have the preparation, you have the arrival of Jesus with Hosanna. Isn't it? And tells the story of his disciples as well in Jerusalem, and of course it tells of the crucifixion. And as a director, I'm sure it's interesting because they say it's interpretation of the psychology of Jesus and the other characters, So I suppose it's looking at motivation of these characters, Am I making sense in what I'm saying?
Yes, no, that's right. I've directed and choreographed this show twice now, and I feel that this time I've done it completely different to the first time.
Interesting.
I've sort of the characters, I think we've gone a lot deeper into the characters more, where before they might have been a bit lighter in the way we did them. So I personally think the way we've done it this time is a better way.
Right.
But it could be because of the people I'm using, the different cast as well. And obviously our set is different and things. So
they often say that if you return to something, that you make a better job of it the second time. So that's interesting, isn't it? But I suppose for those who don't know it, what's interesting or may come as a surprise is the sort of contemporary attitudes or possibly slang, or I think the posh word would be anachronism, that things that you wouldn't expect now in the film, I know, of Jesus Christ Superstar. They even have tanks. Well, we haven't got tanks.
No, we haven't got tanks.
I better not mention it anymore. Sharon Higgins will bring in tanks, I can see it. But but it is a rock opera. It is a rock opera. And, it's been written in a little bit of a modern style. We've got to know the songs over the years, but of course it came out first in 1972 and 71 on Broadway, 1972 in London, and it was Paul Nicholas, of course, who played that part first. But it has grossed, they say, I wish I had some money in this, they say it's $237 million has been made worldwide from the production, and the London production ran for 8 years, between 1972 and 1980, and at the time it was the longest running musical until Cats hit it out of its position. So I'm just saying this. Okay, I've been doing my homework this morning, trying to impress the director here, But no, so how about the creatives now then, please, Sharon? The people who are helping you put this together.
Well, I've obviously directed it and choreographed, but my right-hand lady, I suppose, man, whatever you want to call her, is Victoria Bryant, and she's obviously our musical director, and she's been with us since the start, and we work really well together. I mean, I can turn around to Vicky and say, can we change this, can we change that, and somehow she does it.
Yes.
Whatever I ask, she's there and she does it. And
she's on the ball
fabulous.
as well,
oh,
isn't
definitely.
she?
She's fabulous to work with. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
And how about you've got a special someone making props and that, haven't you?
Yes.
So please say.
My husband, Twiggy, as everyone knows him, Peter Higgins. I came home from classes the other Saturday and found him building the crucifix, the cross out in the garden.
Well,
so the cross is prepared.
It's ready.
So obviously he's designed the set, and when we do the get-in, he'll be hopefully putting it all up and making sure it's all safe and working, ready for us and the cast to get on.
Oh, it's great. So let's have the dates and how to get tickets again, please, from Seren now.
So the dates of the show is the 20th to the 23rd of October, and you can buy tickets either through cast members or on www.dolmantheatre.co.uk.
So if I was to ask you, because some people might be there thinking, I wonder whether I'll go to Newport now, or what else is going on now in 20th, 23rd, what would you say to encourage people to come? I know, because it's so exciting in the rehearsal hall. There's so much atmosphere, really, and it's gripping. We all know the story, but what would you say to somebody who's thinking, oh, shall I go now or not? Perhaps I can say it better because I know how wonderful the creatives are working, particularly yourself, and of course we're talking about Vicky, so I know that, I know of the atmosphere in the rehearsal hall, and it's got that special magic. I'm trying to say it, but it's got that magic that you know that it's going to be a special production. It's going to be one that we'll be looking at. Is there anything that you'd like to say to encourage somebody who might be thinking, oh, I don't know, I don't go to theatre much, is this for me? What would you say?
Well, from my perspective, like, I haven't obviously seen the whole thing. I've seen from the sidelines of when I'm not on stage, or like from the atmosphere of everyone around me, but everybody's just been putting in so much work towards this. We've all been waiting for I don't know how long now to get back on a stage and perform for people, because it's what we enjoy doing, and we want to bring this joy to other people when they come and watch it.
And it's 18 months, isn't it? And
18 months.
On the back of having to shelve a production, or to cancel a production of Saturday Night Fever, I think you've put everything into this now, Sharon, haven't you?
Definitely.
So I think the punter is going to see something very special coming out of the lockdowns, coming out, cross fingers and praying for the pandemic. So the last word should be with the director. What?
Well, like you just said, we've had 18 months of live theatre was just gone. And it's going to be emotional, not just for the audience. I think it's going to be emotional for the cast and the crew, to get back on that stage with the passion that we've got. And I think this is what people forget. Theatre isn't just a job, it's a passion. And you, like Sam just said, you can just feel that atmosphere and the excitement of them getting on that stage, and the thought of having a live audience again to appreciate that. There's nothing better than live theatre.
No.
Nothing better than it
And
at
there's
all.
one word I'm going to pick out of there, and it has several meanings. Passion, especially when we're talking about Jesus Christ Superstar. Thank you very, very much, Seren Howells and Sharon Higgins, for coming to Radio Cardiff today. We can't wait. We'll play now the song many of us know, I Don't Know How to Love Him.